getting across Bannister from Tararua Ridge over to Dundas Ridge, it took a lot. It took 49.5k of walking and 5,700 meters of vert across 2.5 days. And it wasn't really that kind of terrain that took it out of us. It was our last day when the weather finally caught up with us. That was our real test. And this view out the back of the van with hollow eyes and wet bodies, it was pure bliss. Well, I was there last time, didn't I? Last time I lost something, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Alright, we are packing for an attempt to grab Bannister Peak. Hannah's not coming.
Master Mouth Shield. You're fucked if you need this.
Yeah, I might take that up. The weather forecast was looking good earlier in the week. It's not looking good now with gale winds on Saturday, which is our big day from Cattle Ridge Hut to Tarn Ridge via Bannister. So that may be canned yet, but we're gonna give it a go and get up there and make a call. Got a few escape routes, emergency routes.
Expired. 2016.
Probably good that someone's vetting the first aid kit. So yeah, we're just piling gear out in this mess of a room now, and exploding stuff, and yeah, we're getting there. I wonder if this compass is still functioning on. Yeah, that seems about north, eh?
Right, Paul.
Right.
Was it all?
Where are we, Jack?
I don't know. Somewhere.
Yep. Inclement weather, I'd call it. At best.
Yeah.
Nah, it's
It'll
not
hold
too
on.
bad right now. But we're in for a good night. We'll
Yeah.
see how we get on when we get to Cow Creek. No, sorry, Cattle Ridge. Cattle Ridge.
See how we go.
Intrepid journey begins. Sitting off strong. Getting lit up by Jackie. It's comfortable in the front, aren't you, Jack?
Comfortable, mate?
Comfortable in the front.
Up or down, Paul?
Go down. Bit of DIY already.
Yeah.
It's a good start, eh? Could be a bit slower than we anticipated. Pretty classic. Wouldn't be a James trip if you were running on time and you didn't have some obstacles. Bridge Rua, number 2.
Yeah.
We're an hour in and feeling flash, eh, Jack?
Fucking rooted.
Fucking rooted. We're about an hour 10 in, on hour 13. So I thought we'd be like here at about an hour, Jack, so we're doing pretty good. Have a quick old check of the map. And yeah, like 3.8k to Roaring Stag. Doc reckons 2.5 hours. I reckon an hour.
Is that what said it'll be 4 hours from?
It's gonna be 4 hours from the road end to Roaring Stag. And we're like halfway. And we're about to drop 400 meters-ish. And we are fucking drenched. The GoPro won't show it, but it has not been raining. And we could wring our shirts. It's so fucking humid. That's probably the slowest part, is it's super wet, rutty, was steep, and just hot.
Where are we, James?
Up here, bro. Yep, we're fucking almost at Roaring Stag, eh? And then we've got the big 700 metre climb to Cattle Ridge. 2 hours 17. We're doing fucking mean, actually.
Good time.
Yeah.
For now.
We are at Roaring Stag.
Yeah.
And that's currently 2.2k, 2 hours to Cattle Ridge via the dock sign. We'll see if we can top that 2.5 hours in and leaving Roaring Stag Bridge. Yo, this is the movie scene type shit. Holy. Completely different change in bush. Here we go. It's absolutely huge. Totara. Starting a bit dark. We're not too far from sunset now, about 40 minutes from sunset. And the Totara through here is just amazing. Steep. We lost about 10 minutes of time because I missed the marker. You right, bro, up here? Oh yeah. And so just been extra diligent with our spotting now because it's really wet and tough going off the track, which has a bit of metal and stuff on it. Oh well, stay tuned. We're about halfway up our climb now. Is my jacket still there? Oh yeah, my jacket's still there, eh, Jack? Yeah. Hanging on for dear life. Chewing through some water. About 800 meters now, so the temperature's definitely changing. And the bush is thinning, getting Here we are. Cattle Ridge Hut. Alright, we have boiling water and we have fire. Stoked as. We're dry. Our clothes are absolutely satched, they're dripping, but hopefully they'll dry out tonight and we're about to get some kai in us. The first climb up to the Hedipai Junction took a lot more than we'd thought. I burnt a lot more matches than we'd expected and the humidity really killed us. And that final climb from Roaring Stag up to Cattle Ridge, Jack had really struggled with. I was fortunate enough to have spent quite a bit of time on the ridgeline there and kind of expected the hard work underfoot and was pretty used to that kind of terrain, but this is his first time in the Tararuas, and it really reminded me of my trip into Mid-King Bivvy and how much I struggled to get down to the hut and up to the ridgeline the next day, and it was a bit of a rude awakening. So I think in light of that, Jack did exceptionally well on that kind of terrain. It's not easy on the ridgeline there, and the Tararuas, they're brutal, and you can't hide. And so he clambered through that exceptionally well. By the time we got to Cattle Ridge Hut, we were mentally spent. We were mentally drained from walking in the dark and slipping over in the mud and just battling our way to get there. And to get to a hut and have a warm feed to fill our bellies and a fire to keep us warm, there was really nothing better. And we slept so sound, the sound of that fire. We woke up the next day, ready to rumble.
So I need to get outside anyway to get some more.
Oh, the cloud out there is epic. Just gone 5. Into the beautiful morning. And the lovely sunrise. Yo. Matt. Cheers, Cattle Ridge Hut.
Beautiful.
Hot it up. Fucking good night, and we're stoked to be here tonight. What's the time, bro? 6:30.
6:30, a little bit late.
Into it.
Truck into it.
Truck into it. After you, Jaggy.
We go.
Alright, just left 1 hour peak. We're a little behind schedule, but weather's pretty good relatively to what we're expecting, so pushing on. Carry on. We are just at the foot of the last of a big climb, about 300 metres to 1500 feet, just before Bannister. The wind's picking up, weather's changing, but feels good. Feels nice to be at the foot of it, about to tick it off and climb up. We're just below Bannister, about 200 metres in a straight line. It's pretty exciting. That's Bannister. Enjoy the view, everybody. Yeah, we did all that hard work so you can enjoy that view with us. Around a couple of hours to a ret and then some. Here we are now on Twins. Settle before we climb down and back onto the other ridge line to a red small reveal of Bannister before it's clouded in again. It's looking pretty poor. On the walk down to the Red Hut. Getting pretty hungry. It's just gone 11:30, we made a pretty good time. Pretty chuffed, I think chickens too. We're just ready for a quick rest and a feed. We were well over halfway now and through what we thought was the crux of our day. Bannister was actually much easier than we'd expected, and all the reading I'd done up on it, I'd expected much harder climbing and more actual rock climbing. But regardless, we got to a ret and we were pretty spent. We'd already been 5 hours on our feet, 10k, and done most of the vert. We were already in a calorie deficit of probably 2,000 to 2,500 calories. And without that lunch, yeah, we would have been pretty dead on our feet to get to Tararua Ridge. So it's exactly what we needed to perk up and keep going and face that wind again to get to a hut and bunker down. On the Tararua Ridge hut.
Keep track alive.
Yeah, and before we fall asleep on our feet. Seeing a little bit of blue sky over there. How about it? Ooh. just got ourselves onto Tararua Ridge, which is kind of the crux of our evening walk to Tararua Ridge Hut. So we're into it.
Right.
Oh yeah, there she is. It's amazing what something the hut does for your psyche. Whew. We have arrived, Tararua Ridge Hut. Warm and dry day. Yeah, I think I need to stretch. I just want to fucking sleep. Muscles are just that sore. Oh yeah, bro. Some mad charcoal taste in that.
Flavouring.
Yeah. Oh, fucking has to cool down. That's fucking napalm hot.
Get the old bloody fire in the belly.
Look, I smell. Even my hands smell from my gloves.
No, mine was better than gloves that much.
The feeling of getting to Tararua Ridge was exceptional. We had a pretty big day on our feet. We clocked 7 hours 40. We'd walked almost 16k. We'd climbed over 3,000 meters of vert. Pretty big day. Our bodies were pretty sore and pretty tired. We felt pretty worked from our first decoy into Cattle Ridge the night before, and top it off with an even bigger day of vert. Yeah, it was certainly a challenge. We were super lucky with the win though. I was pretty nervous and pretty anxious that we were even going to get across Bannister. We'd made the call at Wainawa Peak just after a junction to see if it was going to be worthwhile or too risky, and we made the call. And to be fair, the wind was pretty exceptional across Bannister and the terrain was nowhere near as technical as we were expecting. It meant a lot for me to get across Bannister. There is only 15 peaks of 1500 metres in the Tararuas, and Bannister's a pretty isolated one relatively, and I hadn't been able to get to it on another walk earlier due to weather. So to get it this time, yeah, I was chuffed, and I can't overstate that enough. And Jack was chuffed too. So far our trip had gone to plan, and yeah, it was all smooth sailing with a bit of hard mahi too. But I got the peak, and now we just had to walk out. It all seemed pretty cruisy, and considering it gone to plan thus far, we were pretty confident. It definitely started to pick up and get worse as we got closer to Tararua Ridge, but in the safety of the hut, we could ignore it and get some food in us and have a nice relaxing afternoon. We ended up sleeping from about 5 to 6. We got back up We did end up having a stretch and having some great relaxation time. We had dinner and we ended up back in bed at 7, and then we had a pretty disrupted sleep until we woke up the next morning.
Alright, it's what, 5 o'clock yet?
5 o'clock.
Fuck, it was windy.
Are you shaking the hut?
Yeah, hardcore. It's died down so much now, but visibility's 10 metres?
Yeah.
10 metres?
10 metres.
As long as that wind stays away, we'll be fine, but yeah.
A bit more of a challenge than yesterday.
Tea and coffee time, we'll see what happens.
What lay ahead for us was everything you don't want in the Tararuas, and exactly what I'd hoped to avoid. We had gale force winds, anywhere between 90 and 100 km/h. We had rain with that, and we had terrible visibility, at times only a few metres in front of us. We didn't know that at the time, but I had a bit of an inclination, and I was pretty nervous for the day ahead. We had a good few K to get over the tops and into the bush line, but to get there we had to cross Girdlestone, Brocket, Pukeamoamua and Piggies before going down the spur towards the bush line. And it did have me thinking twice.
I can get it.
I think I've been so heavy at the foot of a fucking climb. It's taking us an hour and a half just to get here. Big push, big push. There we are. We're getting one more. We finally made it plus 2 hours 45.
Keep driving 4.5 hours. Hopefully we can be in a warm car heading home for a warm shower and a fucking cup of tea and a bicky. I'm keen for a bicky. You keen for a bicky?
Shit, yeah.
Bridge Puru for our trip. Leaving Minor Flat. My third time for this part of the track, Jack. I'm hoping third time lucky I stay on the track this time.
I hope so.
Yeah. Both other times I lost the marker, so I don't feel like a detour right now. Happy years, mate.
Happy years.
Made it through there without any extra detours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. 4 hours 40 in, 10k. And 4 hours to go. Chugging along. Weather's definitely getting better the further out we get. Yeah, there's some bright sky. Our chat's pretty weak, eh, Jack?
Pretty weak.
Chat's weak.
Oh, chat's weak. Yeah. I'm bugging.
This is our final climb up to the Baldy Point sort of junction. Can't wait for a fucking hot coffee and a bicky. Alright, here at Baldy Point Junction. But yeah, 2.5k to Adi Whakatū. Hopefully we can do that in an hour, but we're fucking jaded. Everything's taking longer. Warm though, warm, but thirsty and jaded. Pretty stoked to see this bridge. Basically signifies the end of anything hard.
End of everything hard?
Yeah,
That's promising.
promising.
I think everything's hard.
We're just heaving today. Holy. Walking along the highway now. Easy as. Here's Jack just crossing our last swing bridge for today. We're like 3.5k to out, 4k, so we should knock that out in the next 40ish minutes. We're just at 20k, mate.
20k?
20k, 8 hours 20. Whew. Listen.
Might just beat the 9 hour marker, eh?
So, this morning we were talking about our estimates and adding a little bit of, you know, misjudged factor, and we joked around. Well, Jack joked around. I'll be a bit pissed if it's actually 9 hours.
Yeah.
And well,
I was not feeling going over the estimate today. The body was a bit rough.
and so far we've got about 2.5 hours over estimate. We're still walking.
Yeah, feeling better every step, mate.
Hey buddy. Good to see ya. Big fluffy boy, nice and warm. Yeah, my hands up, so warm, aren't they?
And there you have it, a safe exit. Pretty big trip all up. We've done around 5,700 meters of it. We've walked basically 50k, and all in about 2.5 days. These faces you see in the van here, they're looking jaded, they're looking pretty hotto, and they're bloody wet. But they're pretty chuffed. We've spent 2.5 days looking out for each other and enjoying some beautiful time in the bush. We were blessed with some remarkable views on Saturday morning, and we got all the hard work and challenges the ridgeline provides as well. And when you're stuck up on the ridgeline in horrendous weather like that, and the weather report is only to get worse the next day, all you can do is buckle in, take one step forward, one after the other, make sure every step's a good step, and slowly chip away. It was bloody tough going. My hands were frozen, our jackets and our wet weathers and everything were wetted out in probably less than half an hour. I had water get through my bag and through my dry sacks, and everything through it was wet. I'd never been in wet weather like that before, and yeah, it was a wholesome time. I'm glad to have done Bannister, and yeah, keep plugging away at getting to all the major peaks and Tararuas. And so good to be able to share that with a good friend. Jack and I, we've lived together and trained together for heaps of years, and it was nice to reunite and do something real different, something we hadn't done together before. And nice to have a bro looking out for you, as I'm sure he enjoyed me looking out for him up on the ridgeline. I think those times would have been even more grim and even more challenging had we not been able to share that with someone. And I'm sure as there's more days between this trip and retelling this tale, the tale's going to get taller and taller and grander, but hey, we can look back and watch this video and reminisce on these awesome times we've made. I think it's easy to read a title like Bagging Bannister and get sucked into the idea that we're just here to bag a peak and move on, but it's not like that for me at all. All of these peaks I've done so far, all 14 of them out of the 15, I'd 100% go back and do again. I've only done 5 of them with a good view, and so I'm sure there's beautiful views to see from the others, where all I got was whiteout, much like you saw us on top of Bannister. So I'd love to go back to them again and see it on a beautiful day. It's not about being out there to conquer and be on top. For me, it's just being out there and being in nature, and that's where life feels easy. That's where life feels good. That's where I feel most myself and most connected to, I'm not even sure what, just connected, plugged in,